All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Integrity Racing Show. Tonight, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Unfortunately, Todd, internet is crapped out. If you've been in the race, you kind of knew he was having some connection issues. Integrity Racing Show. Tonight, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. So just bear with me. Obviously, I'm already screwing up, and we've only got 5 seconds in the show. But with that being said, we're going to talk about Homestead tonight. We have our 4 championship drivers here with us, Adam and Eric de Blasio, Caleb Eisenhower, and our 2017 Integrity Cup Series champion, William Dunn, joins us on the show. So we're going to go over Homestead. We're going to talk about how the race went. It was a very clean race for the most part. And look at the results and a few things, talk about these guys' season, and then we'll talk about some stuff for next year, as well as announce the winners for our auxiliary awards and announce the final 4 for the most popular driver award, which is something we'll have some fun with next week as well to figure out who is that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up the results from tonight's race. And do that real quick here. I'm not as fast as Todd, but I'll do the best I can. So basically, William Dunn was able to come away with the in thrilling fashion, I have to say, over Brad Patton, who was able to bring it home second position. This is not only obviously the championship for William, but this is also William's first win in the Integrity Racing League. So congratulations on both fronts for that. Third place was Adam de Blasio, another Chase contender. He'll be your second place finisher within the point standings for the top 4. Samuel Roush with a very good run. I believe that's his career best in the 4th position. Rounding out the top 5 was Caleb Eisenhower, another Chase driver. 6th place went to Andrew Fash. Then yours truly finished 7th. Christopher Schitzler finished 8th. 9th was Tyler Herr, and rounding out the top 10 was Michael Dool. And I believe Eric finished 20th, but that's certainly not indicative of where he ran for the majority of the night, and especially in the closing laps. So let's go ahead and kick it off with William. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what your thoughts are, especially since you're fresh off winning the championship, winning your first race, all these first here. Kind of tell us how your race went and what your strategy was when those last about 20, 25 laps or so.
Well, I told the guys, they pulled me down for an interview pre-race. I told them, I'm going to have some strategy fall my way to win this thing. I'm, Caleb super fast, Adam super fast, Eric, fast too. And I didn't think I was going to be able to beat him just on an all-out fight. So, I pitted early a couple times, got out ahead of those guys, and caution came out at the right time for me, just like it did last week at Phoenix. I wouldn't be here without that caution last week at Phoenix to beat you, Jacob. And, just it worked out. And then, from there, I was able to, hold those guys off, get by Eric on that restart. And I can't believe it. I raced last year, which was taken away from me because of that restart violation. I know you remember that at all, but so it feels good to actually finally get one and get it legitimately, and it's crazy.
Awesome. So I want to open it up to our other 3 contenders here. Obviously, there was a really long green flag run in the middle portion of the race, and I think with about 20 to go or so, there was a caution came out. How did you guys feel as far as how the race was progressing? If things were to continue to go green, did you either Caleb or either one of the de Blasios? How did you guys feel about finishing off the race there? We'll start with Adam, since apparently nobody's going to go at once here. So,
okay. So when the caution first came out, I just barely got by Dunn. Like I cleared him, and my spotter and friend Christian Chandler told me, "All right, got by Dunn, and it's clear sailing from now here on out. Green to the end. You got this." And I was trying to ask him why, because Caleb ran me down the previous run. And he told me that I had a bigger lead on Caleb, but the big key point was that there were more lap cars in between him and me. So I know what I did that middle run, I burned up my right front, and Caleb just ran me down. And I was starting to get worried, and I was very impressed with his speed tonight. Well, he's fast every single week, but I felt like once I got my done, I could afford to save tires and um, be able to hold on at the end, because when if it went green and Caleb caught me, I would have pinched him pretty hard, and it would have been a nice run to the finish.
All right, and conversely, there, Caleb. Obviously, I believe you and Adam were going back and forth there, and kind of ebbing and flowing on pit strategy. How confident did you feel going into those closing laps before the caution came out?
Obviously didn't want to see that caution there, based off of what happened last caution. I ran him down after about 15, 20 laps when the tires kind of came in. Brad Patton kind of gave me a little tidbit of rolling the corner more, and I let the car roll the corner more, and it just saved tires so much better, and it was a lot better on that long run there. I killed him that first run, and then Adam got by me, and then I finally ran him down that second run. But no, I definitely didn't want that caution to come out. Not really because of Adam. I couldn't chase down Adam, but all the other chasers were in front of me, so that's what made it even worse. Was I was fourth chaser in line, so I knew it was going to be kind of hard there, and then that last restart, we were all just driving like buttholes, to trying to win the race, and I just killed my tires by the time I got the second. I couldn't run done down.
All right, yeah, and then Eric, obviously the game changed for you a lot with the last caution of the race. You had stayed out on pit strategy. I'm sure you were probably a couple laps away from making your final pit stop of the night, but luckily the caution came out and really put you in position to take the win. How did you feel there when that caution came out? Did you feel like you were back in it, or did you feel like you still had some work to do? What was your perspective with that caution?
God, I was so happy when that caution happened. I really needed that caution to happen. I knew that was the only way I was going to win. I was struggling all night. I forgot to put in some rear brake, so from the beginning, and it was just tight the whole time. So that really messed me up the whole race. But once that caution came out, I knew that I possibly had a chance. I had some people in between me and Dunn and Caleb and Adam, so I thought I could possibly get out to a big enough lead after that caution. But I didn't have enough rear brake, so it got really tight, and it was just difficult to hold on from there. Um, it was tough the whole race, but I gave it my all. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
All right, and obviously the final laps came down to all four of you. I think at one point we're 1 through 4 in positions within that final run, or at least close to it at the end. Dunn, going back to you, what did you feel like in those closing laps? I know to begin with you had to get past Eric, who was in the lead at the start of that caution, or at the restart, I should say, and then obviously Caleb bearing down on you, who's been dominant all season. What were your in those final laps? What were your thoughts there? And obviously Brad Patton as well, who was in second, not a trace driver, but certainly fast enough to take the win and contend and maybe mess things up a little bit for you. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I knew I had, once I got to second and it was just Eric and I knew I had to get around him, and then I wanted to save because it was still, I think we went green with like 24 to go or something, and I was not going to hang on that long. Those guys were a lot better than me on the long runs, and I knew I had to save. So I just, went into save mode, and I was just trying to take it easy. And, luckily those guys got to racing, and it cost him time. And, like Caleb said, he was driving the wheels off of it trying to get to me. Almost got to me a couple times, but then, tires just took over, and I was able to pull away. And got to thank Brad, too. Brad was friendly to me. He kind of was like Kyle Larson in the Cup race yesterday. He took it easy and, let me just drive my race. I really appreciate that. He could have yeah, I'm sure he wanted to win, and I know that he probably could have passed me if he really tried, or he might wreck me. Who knows? But he would have gotten to me. So appreciate that, and then I just appreciate Hudson talking in my ear there at the end, just calming me down, just telling me where everybody was, just saying, relax, run your race, because I was I was trying not to overdrive, but how do you not in that situation? How do you not overdrive? So I was just trying to stay focused, and we got down to 3-4 to go, and I knew I had that gap. I'm like, okay, I just I got it now, and brought it home. It's crazy. I really can't believe it. Took that strategy, like I said, but got it done. So pretty cool. Just so you guys know, I hear some comments on here about me being in a dungeon. I am in my basement. I have 2 kids, and my racing rig has been tucked away in the farthest corner of the basement now. So this is my space. This is all the space I have in the world. So what I got.
So one corner your family has allowed you.
Right.
It's what we all have to look forward to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So obviously, looking at these 4 drivers here, everybody's deserving of the championship. Once again, congratulations on a great season to all of you, and congratulations once again to Dunn on taking the championship, which Hudson was so nice enough to mention that the Integrity Racing team managed to sweep the championships this year, with James taking the truck championship and Dunn taking the Cup Series. So good deal with that. So we'll talk with these guys a little bit more as we go along here, but I do want to get to some other awards that are going to be handed out tonight, or will be wrapped up tonight. Obviously, since Adam was busy wrapping up interviews and obviously race stuff, his wizardry hasn't updated everything yet, understandably, but most of the other awards are pretty much wrapped up anyway, so it'll just give you an idea of who won a couple of different things. The first one to start with is going to be the Rookie of the Year award. Obviously, it's kind of a consolation prize of sorts, but Caleb is the Rookie of the Year this year, winning in impressive fashion. I don't have the stats up, but I'm pretty sure it was a good 50, 60 points he was ahead of, I believe it was Brad, for that award. So he will have 25 either PayPal dollars or credits, iRacing credits heading his way for that. So congratulations to that, Caleb. Anything you want to say about the Rookie of the Year real quick since we have you on here, or about winning the award?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an accomplishment in itself. Obviously I wanted the championship, but with the talent in this league, especially in the rookies, I mean, you're talking about Brad, who's just unbelievably fast every week. Terry Butch or I think I just butchered his name. Tree Bush is no joke. There's a couple pros in there that didn't run all season. Obviously, if they ran all season, I'm sure it'd been a different result or a lot closer. But I'll take that. That's definitely an accomplishment, and something I can hopefully build upon towards next season.
Certainly. So obviously, like I said, Caleb takes that award. The other award for grabs was a Clean Driver Award, which is pretty close, or closer, I should say. Once again, for the second time in a row, Kent Weatherall will end up taking that award, it looks like, with almost 100 laps per incident for him. Coming in a close second and third there was Jay Heischman and Greg Trago, and that might have traded a little bit. Like I said, it's not completely up to date. But so congratulations to Kent. Kent will once again get 25 either iRacing credits or dollars in his PayPal account. So I want to say congratulations to him on getting that award. Obviously, he's very consistent and very clean throughout the season, which is what it takes. So congratulations to him on that. Also, to round out what seems like everybody is waiting for, is the most popular driver award. Right now, we have wrapped up the quote-unquote first round, which is basically you guys had the opportunity to vote during this week, and excuse me, and vote for your most popular driver. A lot of people got votes, but there were a few that stuck out. And what I will do so Dual won't claim that I cheated this year. I will go ahead and screen share the votes themselves. And I'll tell you the top 4 because it's going to be a little tricky to kind of pull them out. But what we'll do is the top 4 will be voted on during this week on the Facebook page, and hopefully that will pull up here in a second, all the votes. But and then we'll go another week, and then we'll figure out who our most popular driver is. So your final 4 for that is going to be Alan Roll, who had, I believe, 5 votes. Randy Fayash, might be a slight surprise for some of you, was able to garner 4 votes. Jay Heishman was able to garner 4 votes. And then rounding out the 4 will be one of our chase drivers, Adam de Blasio, also received 4 votes, which was enough to get all 4 of them to the quote-unquote final round. So I'll post a little poll up and get you guys back involved again. Vote for your favorite driver out of those 4, and one of them will be crowned the IRL most popular driver. No quote-unquote award, except bragging rights and probably a new paint for roll potentially at the end of the year. So, but anyway, those are the 4 drivers. Obviously, like I said, we'll talk about some stuff of that coming up next week. But a couple things. I don't want to keep these guys too long. I'm sure they have stuff they want to do. But a couple things for next year. Your secondary series is what I'm going to call it for right now. Is going to be 21 race seasons. We're going to do the B car to start off with. At the start of the new year, January 2nd, we'll start with the B car at Daytona. We'll do 21 races, take about a month or so off, and then start a truck series somewhere in the mid-year that does another 21 races. And we'll just kind of rotate back and forth with that. I hope you can join us for that. We're going to have hopefully have some new people sign up. You're more than welcome to run both series. Should be a lot of fun. And then obviously our Cup Series will kick back off in February with Daytona. I'm going to try to set up somehow to do a duel this year. I know a few of you have asked for that, to have a little extra interest in Daytona. So I'm looking forward to getting that set up. A lot of things we're hoping to do during the off season to keep the league chugging along, and keeping it where it is. But part of that is you, and it has to be you, the members, to show up, participate, be active in Facebook and different places to make the league what it is, not only on the track but off. So the last thing before I let these guys go and give each of them a final thought for their seasons is I want to thank you, kind of like I did pre-race. Thank you for showing up each week. Thank you for trusting me and our admins that have worked so hard with me to try to put our best foot forward. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we do the best we can to produce a good league for you guys to race in, and we're very thankful for you to showing up. Like I said, I want to thank Chad, Chris, James, Joshua Buckley, who helps us with the truck series. Thank each of them for adminning and helping me out, because it's not the easiest task in the world to pull this off. But thank them especially for this year. So like I said, real quick, I'll give each of you guys a final thought, and then we'll wrap up the show. Why don't we go ahead and start with Caleb?
Yeah, it was obviously a great season. Kind of started off struggling a little bit. Well, I say struggling. I got about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 second place finishes. I could never win. And then finally one race where none of the pros wanted to show. I say none of the pros. Sorry, Andrew. Watkins Glen finally got my first win. And then we went back to back, and then they just started knocking them off. And racked up 7 wins. I was really wanting to get a championship, but it wasn't meant to be. Dunn got that, and he's very qualified for that. He ran a great season, and got the Rookie of the Year, so that's good. So I'm looking forward to the next season. Just want to say that, I kind of mentioned this a lot of times in my interviews, that this is by far the best ran league that I've been a part of, and I think that's directly involved with Jacob just caring so much about it. And if there's any of the 2 or 3 viewers that are watching it that has friends that want to join the league, by far, join it. It's a great league. The competition's great. And that's about all I got.
We're at double digits right now, by the way. We're impressive. Eric, why don't you have a couple words for us?
Yeah, first, I'd like to congratulate William Dunn on a fantastic season. You definitely deserve the championship. You ran that race really well and ran the full season well. For me, the season began with lots of struggles, a lot of DNFs, but after about once we got to the summer stretch, I started turning it around, and I finally got my first win at Bristol, which I was super pumped about. I battled Faye Ash pretty well, and I kind of gave him a little bump out of the way to get that win, but it was worth it, I think. I had a lot of fun racing with Faye Ash. But yeah, for the chase, it was definitely hard fought. I was lucky to get into the third round. It's too bad Lance didn't make it. He really was trying hard, but for the championship round, I just came up a little short. Didn't have too much practice in because I didn't have time to put in the laps, and it just didn't fall my way. But it was a solid season, and I'd like to thank you, Jacob, for putting on this awesome league. I really, this is all I race, and I love it. I have a blast doing it, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Adam, why don't you have a couple words real quick?
All right. Kind of disappointed that the season didn't end with a championship, but at least a well-deserving person got the 2017 IRL championship. Congrats to Dunn again. As far as improvements, Caleb, you're in great company with Rookie of the Year. I was last year's Rookie of the Year, so we can be buddies. And you see how my season went this year, so I look forward to another Final Four battle next year with you. But looking at last year's stats, since I'm the statistician and Fife is probably smiling right now. Last year I had 0 wins, 6 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. This year I had 2 wins, 16 top 5s, and 23 top 10s. So I feel like it was a very successful season, even though it was only one position better in the point standings. I felt like throughout the entire season, I performed a whole lot better. And I'm happy for that, especially in a tough league such as the Integrity Racing League. And Jacob, I know it's been said before, but I got to say it again. I think this is the best league on the iRacing service right now. It's very well run, and you got drivers in here that are top notch. The only rival series is the Peak series, and they kind of have a little bit of advantage with budget and stuff. So, but you guys do a really good job. But as far as looking forward to next season, in Homestead, I finished 5th and 3rd in the 2 Final Four races. So the trend is 1st. And then in the standings, also, it's 3rd, 2nd. So that's also pointing towards 1st. So 2018, I hope I can get that championship. That's long eluded me in all the leagues because I always finish 2nd in everything. You can ask Christian Chandler about Allen's Winter League. Can't not finish 2nd in that league, but overall, great season. Had fun with racing all you Final Four contenders, you, Jacob, and all of Integrity Racing League this season.
Can I say something real quick, Jacob?
Yeah.
So I just remember, and the Blasios will vouch for this, but I remember at Charlotte one time when I think the first race I really found out who Adam de Blasio was. And that's not in a good way. But I can't remember what happened, but he ended up protesting me. He got me suspended for a little bit. And then I remember at Texas one race, I was passing Eric for like, I don't know, I was way back in the pack. He wasn't very good, but I was passing him and something happened and we both wrecked and I got really mad at him and stuff. I do remember that, but you would not believe how much faster both of those guys are right now. I mean, those guys are unbelievably fast, and I attribute that directly to this league with all the pro drivers that have ran in this league. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 pro drivers on my team that, give me information and stuff, but they don't, as far as I know, I don't think they're on any team. And, as fast as they are, if you ever want to get better and make yourself better, this league makes you better. I mean, it made me better, way better. And so that's just another attribute to joining the league.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I have to say, Adam, I was slightly disappointing. I was expecting like a whiteboard and a flow chart or something to be showing your progress through the course of the year. And there's maybe a diagram or two. But anyway.
Well, if you remember in our test show, you suggested that, and I got a Sharpie and a paper. And I explained the point standings out, if you remember that.
That's true. Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick. Don, we'll let you have the final word here and for your season, and then I'll wrap the show up.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna echo what these other guys said, and Caleb said it well. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, people say it, but I was honestly, I was about done with sim racing. I had little kids and I didn't have time for it, and NIS, I was just not having fun, and I wasn't on a team, and I was just like, I just don't have time. I'm just gonna quit. And then Alan Pajari invited me to his winter league, which got me into this league, and honestly, that's what's kept me going. Yeah, you too, Adam. Yeah. So I mean, that's this is what those guys are saying. I mean, this league is it's fun. It's a great time. You do a really good job of running it well. I've gotten mad at people. People get mad at people, but we all come back. We all have a good time. We just enjoy it. And yeah, so that's probably the reason why I'm still sim racing. And like Caleb said, it's made me a lot better. I was never very good at it. I just enjoyed doing it. But now I'm not as good as these guys, I don't think. But I was able to hold them off at the end. I've learned that much, and so that's a credit to you and the job you do, the admins and everything. Talk about my season for a second. Honestly, it kind of echoes Eric's a little bit. Like he said, at the beginning of the year, I don't know. I just was terrible. I wrecked every week. I felt like, I missed a couple races for things, and it just wasn't going very well. At one point in the summer, I was outside the chase, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna make it this year. So many good drivers in here. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time, and I'm about ready to, throw it in. Like, okay, it's fine. I made the chase 2 years in a row, and that was great. And so I barely made it there, and then things just fell my way. So I thank Jacob again. Thank all you guys for racing a great race in the championship. Really couldn't ask for a better Final Four there. It was just a ton of fun. So that's all I got. Again, thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So one more thing real quick that I almost forgot about. We do have one more race this season. Our All-Star race will be coming up next Monday night. I'll put the list of drivers out there who are eligible, and we'll have some fun with that. I don't know a card track yet. I quite honestly haven't got that far. But we'll have an all-star race. We'll have a little fun with it, have some bragging rights for that. So please show up for that. Should be a lot of fun. But with that being said, this basically is the end of the season for 2017. Once again, I want to thank our 4 championship drivers here who represented themselves well on the racetrack and both ran really competitively during the course of this race and the season as a whole. I want to thank each of you and for watching. And once again, congratulations to William Dunn, the 2017 Integrity Racing League Cup champion. So once again, thank all of you for watching and have a great night.